Cadillac has quietly assembled a full lineup of premium battery electric SUVs. In this video, I'll provide an overview of the OPTIQ arriving at dealers in the US. It's their latest electric vehicle with a high IQ. I think most people could use a refresher of the Cadillac lineup. For a lot of luxury buyers, their brand has fallen down the list of consideration, but they're hoping that their lineup of battery EVs will break through with new customers. The Cadillac OPTIQ comes in as a smaller alternative to the Lyriq, which has been on sale for a couple of years now. Both are two-row EVs. The Lyriq will soon be joined by a three-row called VISTIQ. When you see them together, it is a larger and taller SUV than the Lyriq. Then we get to the Escalade IQ, which is just a beast. The dimensions of that electric is closer to the gas-powered Escalade ESV, the long wheelbase version. It's much longer than the standard gas-powered Escalade. What does the OPTIQ compete with? That's a good question. There are actually not a lot of premium C-segment EVs available in the US. It's a similar size to the Tesla Model Y, which is a great EV, but not the most luxurious on the inside. It doesn't have the same vibe to it, and you'd have to decide what bumper sticker to put on the back. I'd rather compare it to the Audi Q6 e-tron, which doesn't get talked about very much, so let's go with that. Plus, another EV that I really do not want to include in this comparison, but we have to. Now, the OPTIQ doesn't have the same exterior sheet metal front and rear end, so it's not just a rebadge, but they do share a lot underneath, so I'll point out the many differences between the two EVs. There are 4 different models, but for simplicity, you can kind of think of them as 2x2. Level 1 and Level 2, you get more features with the 2, but the styling is the same. There's also a luxury and sport model. In general, the luxury has bright chrome, particularly along the roofline and the wheels. The sport blacks out most of the bright trim and darkens the wheels. The OPTIQ on display at the Detroit Auto Show was a Sport 2 in Monarch Orange, plus the optional dark roof. This is the most bold combination of colors and trims that you can get. I don't particularly like it, but I'm glad they offer some risky colors. Orange color aside, I like the shape of this SUV. Cadillac for years has been pursuing a vertical headlight design, and now they have that across most of their lineup. Interesting design choice is the rear quarter glass, which Cadillac refers to as the Mondrian motif. GM overall, and Cadillac specifically, has been trying to simplify its build combinations. Thus, on the outside, you'll barely notice the difference between the Level 1 and Level 2 models. For example, the Level 2 model gets additional lighting elements in those vertical headlights that kind of act like fog lights. Regardless of what model you choose, the electric vehicle specs are the same. I didn't mention this earlier, but I like that Cadillac is going back to names for its new EVs. Some people don't like the whole IQ theme, but I don't mind it. This, however, needs to go away or change. E is for electric, 4 is four-wheel drive, and 500 is the torque in Fig Newtons, and I really don't care. All-wheel drive is standard on the OPTIQ, as is 300 horsepower or 224 kilowatts. That kind of splits the Audi Q6 e-tron lineup. Range of the OPTIQ is above the magic 300-mile rating that everyone wants, and it comes from an 85 kilowatt-hour battery. Interesting comparison to its sibling at Chevrolet. That EV comes standard with front-wheel drive. When you add the optional all-wheel drive, it launched with a claim of 285 miles on the EPA, so less than the OPTIQ, which has a few extra horsepower and larger wheels, so that didn't make sense. But the new EPA numbers for the Equinox EV make more sense. Apparently, GM has been continuously improving their Ultium components and now get a few more miles out of them. There are different ways to measure charging speed. I'm going to list the peak charging claimed by the manufacturer. Audi claims up to 270 kilowatts of peak charging. Cadillac comes in at only 150 kilowatts. But, and this is a big but, real-world testing of the Equinox EV has been a little disappointing. That's because the modularity of the Ultium battery. Ultium adjusts the size of the battery pack by adding or subtracting common modules. So the massive Escalade IQ gets 24 modules, while the compact OPTIQ gets 10. That offers manufacturing efficiency, but for smaller packs like the Equinox and the OPTIQ, the voltage of that system then is fairly low. Volts times amps equals watts, so you get that 150 kilowatt peak charging only if you find a DC fast charger with a cable that is rated for high amps. This is why GM is transitioning away from Ultium. It's good, don't get me wrong, but for some application, it leads to compromises like this, so they'll go away from that one module fits all strategy in future EVs. On the inside, there are 4 colors offered. This car has the Noir interior. There's also Sky Cool Gray. To get the Canyon color or blue, you need to move up to the Luxe 2 or Sport 2 model. This also gives you ventilated front seats and power memory passenger seat. I like the fabric material and the trim on the center console. It catches the light nicely, but for a luxury vehicle, I think some customers may be a little disappointed. Audi's interior, for comparison, does not have any fabric-like materials, and it does have simulated wood trim. All OPTIQ models have a 33-inch digital display featuring Google Automotive Services, but no CarPlay or Android Auto support. All models feature Cadillac Super Cruise, which is a Level 2 Plus system, so you can take your hands off the wheel on select highways, so long as you keep paying attention to the road. A monitoring system makes sure you do. Second row seating is good for a compact SUV. Cadillac is rolling out AKG audio systems across its entire lineup, and the OPTIQ comes standard with a 19-speaker system. Overall, it's a nice vehicle with a good complement of technology features, but it doesn't blow you away either. And neither will the price. The OPTIQ starts at just over $54,000, and it qualifies for the federal EV tax credit, so long as that lasts, plus whatever state incentives may exist where you live. The Audi Q6 e-tron is a more luxurious compact EV that charges faster, but it does cost more. The Tesla Model Y is a better EV, but it doesn't feel as luxurious, and they're everywhere, which kind of makes it feel less special. Cadillac is gaining sales in EV markets like California, where previously they struggled. In summary, I don't know that Cadillac needs the OPTIQ in their lineup, but tell me what you think. If you like it, hit the thumbs up, and if you don't hit the thumbs down button. Just comment below. And thanks for watching.